Welcome, everybody. My name is Dr. Jocelyn Haversat, and I am the Program Director of Biotechnology Programs at Northeastern University. Congratulations on your decision to consider pursuing a graduate education. It's a big step and welcome. We're glad you're here. Today, we're going to talk about the biotechnology programs at Northeastern and hopefully give you more information that'll help you decide if Northeastern might be a good fit for you. We're going to talk about our Masters of Science in Biotechnology, and we're also going to talk about our graduate certificates in our biotechnology program. So if you're considering graduate education, of course, you're looking at many different universities, and we're going to talk a little bit about what makes Northeastern stand out from some of the other universities that you're considering. The first is that we're an R1 institution, a top-tier national research university. So we have quite a few research active faculty in the college, as well as in the university as a whole. The biotechnology program itself does not have any research designated faculty, but we work very closely with departments like the chemistry department, which we're housed in, the biology department, physics department, quite a few different departments in the college, and we do a lot of interdisciplinary collaborative work. Many of our students work in some of those research labs in kind of a volunteer or even for credit capacity. Along with that research programming that the university supports, there are state-of-the-art laboratories across the network. We have teaching laboratories on our Boston campus and our Oakland campus, and then we have collaborating laboratories on our Toronto and Portland, Maine campus that our students get to perform research and do their research coursework, their laboratory coursework. One of the biggest things that stands Northeastern apart from other institutions is our co-op program. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later in this presentation. But our co-op team has over 100 years of experience placing students into co-ops. These are paid work experiences that are part of your degree program. And so we work with students to get placed into co-op experiences throughout their time in the program. One of the things that might support your journey as a learner, if you're a lifelong learner, or if you're a learner that is balancing many different responsibilities, is that our program is very flexible. We have a part-time version of our program that is very popular and many students do, but we also have a part-time version. And our part-time version, we'll talk more about this, but it has both on-ground courses, but it also has fully online courses. And those online courses are almost overwhelmingly all asynchronous, meaning that there's no set date or time. And then this really helps our students just provide a very flexible opportunity for them to balance all the responsibilities they have alongside their coursework. Our program has been around for over 20 years, and we've graduated thousands of students working in local biotech ecosystems. So we have a strong alumni network and a strong network of instructors that are currently working in the biotech industry. So there's a lot of ways to get involved and to get networked into this industry. We also have state-of-the-art facilities. In this picture that you're seeing right here is our Boston campus. This is the Boston Interdisciplinary Science and Engineering Complex, where our research laboratory is housed. But across our different network, we have state-of-the-art facilities for you to learn and pursue your coursework in. Our program is a professional science master's program. It's not like other thesis-based master's program where you spend most of your time in the lab. Because the biotech industry is overwhelmingly professional, 90% of it happens outside of the R&D space. Most of our program is coursework, meaning that you're in classrooms, but you're learning from faculty that are industry relevant. So 75% of our faculty are part-time instructors that also carry industry roles. So they're right at the cutting edge of this field, experts in what it is that they do and that they're teaching and that the industry is doing right now. Each of you will have a dedicated academic advisor. So this is going to be somebody that's going to help you figure out course registration and staying in compliance and getting your credit load and following your program plans. These are going to be somebody that's going to be able to hold your hand with you throughout that process and kind of track you and follow you throughout your degree. You're also, in addition to that academic advisor, you're going to be assigned a co-op advisor. And your co-op advisor is going to be somebody that's going to help you with your professional skills, with your resume preparing, with your interview preparations. They're going to be able to help you take a look at all of our co-op opportunities, or if you're thinking about doing a industry work project or a pre-co-op experience or an internship, they're going to be able to help you land those positions and support you in your time through those searches. If you are not currently employed or looking for additional employment, we also have a student employment office that's going to help you try to locate and land on-campus jobs to help you fund your education, fund your life. And finally, if you're an international student, we have a dedicated Office of Global Services, and that office is there to help you understand if you're in visa compliance, what you need to be doing, the paperwork you need to be filling out, what credit loads you need to be taking, what course modalities you need to be in. There's a lot of nuts and bolts that are very challenging to figure out if you're an international student coming to this country to study. And so that's a team that's dedicated to helping you answer some of those questions. So there's quite a few resources, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. These are some of the resources that our students utilize the most, but the university as a whole has quite a few different resources to support you in your time here at Northeastern. So what are our biotechnology programs? What is available to you? We have the first one, which is what I'm sure many of you are here to learn about, which is our MS, our master's degree in biotechnology. So we're professional science masters, but your degree is a master's degree. So you get an MS after your name. Under that, you can see we have all of these different certificates in our graduate program. And so each of these are available. It's a reduced course load from the master's. You don't get a master's, you're just going to get your certificate. But you can see that you can kind of specialize into these certificates. So I'll talk a little bit about this coursework and how these programs are run. So as I've been mentioning, our master's program is a professional science master's. This means that you're going to be pursuing study in advanced science and mathematics. It's going to be less about wet lab, research-based experiences like you'd see in a thesis-based master's, and more about the professional element of the degree, quality, regulatory. We're going to be talking about enterprise. We're going to be talking about clinical trials. We're going to be talking about all of the elements that bring drugs from the bench to the bedside, right? So much of our industry happens beyond initial discovery. What does it take to scale up a product, to develop it to the level of quality, to get it approved through various regulatory bodies across the world, not just the US? And so we're going to talk about all of that in our program and in your classes. You are going to be able to, as a result, take classes not just in the College of Science, but outside of the College of Science in our college, DeMoore McKim School of Business, if you're interested in that, in our Bouvet College of Health Sciences. Some even take colleges in our engineering college and our computer science college. So you're going to be able to take all these different classes to tailor to kind of what aspect of such a large industry, what aspect of it are you interested in? We're also going to be incorporating professional skills into your courses: leadership, teamwork, problem solving, oral and written communications, ethics. You're going to be in your time in your coursework developing a portfolio of materials that you can take with you into interviews, talk about. You're going to be developing speaking skills. You're going to be doing oral presentations. You're going to be preparing grants and preparing just all sorts of documentation that you'd be doing in real time in the real industry, right? So it's going to be a lot more. We have really active classrooms. We have really project-driven classes. We have experiential classes, and so that's all designed to help you get the professional skills you need now to take them with you into industry. And kind of along that line, to have that more active, engaged education, there is a work experience. It was required until recently. Now it's just strongly recommended. Most students do a co-op for this experience, and I'll talk more about that. And at the end of this, we award a Master's of Science in Biotechnology. What does this degree actually look like? What are the nuts and bolts of it? So this degree is 34 credits. And what that looks like if you're a full-time student is 4 semesters of coursework plus an optional 3 to 8 month co-op work experience. If you're in Toronto, that can be up to 12 months. And if you are a working student, you have the option to do an industry project at your place of employment. So usually that looks like you can do a project in a different division of your company to try to help support your lateral career change kind of within the same company if you want to work in a different department or a different division and kind of get your feet wet in that area. So if you're full-time, to get that 4-semester coursework completed, you're going to take 8 or 9 credits, which is usually 3 or 4 courses a semester. We don't have courses scheduled in your program plans for the summer semester. So you'll have summers off to do experiential to do experiential opportunities, do your co-ops, do internships, pre-co-ops, just work, take it off. It's your time. If you're a part-time student, you'll take less than that 8 credits. So usually our part-time students take 1 or 2 courses and they have up to 7 years to complete the degree. Our on-ground courses are offered typically in the evening. They either start at 5:30 or 6 p.m., and this is just to accommodate working students. We do have some midday offerings, but if you're taking a class, we guarantee that there'll be a time slot for it in the evening if it's a required class. Most of our lecture courses, as I mentioned, are offered both on ground and online asynchronously. And our lab courses are offered on ground, not online, of course, because of our wet lab course. You need to be present in the wet lab, but we do offer a hybrid version for most of our lab classes. So you can do most of we'll consolidate the wet lab experience to a very short time window. So you can come to campus and take that course if you need to. And not all students need to take that lab course. So if you're considering the online option, but you're deterred by the small on-ground wet lab requirement, you can reach out to our team and we can talk in more specifics about if you would be qualified potentially to waive that requirement. But if you're an on-ground student full-time, you'll be taking our lab classes. And, we have many different the lab classes span a range of topics. So we go all the way from kind of foundational aseptic technique and pipetting skills and things you'd need to maintain GLP, all the way up to doing things like HPLCs and protein purifications. And you're going to be running Western blots and doing DNA sequence analysis. So we cover the whole gambit of common techniques that you might see in a industry laboratory facility as part of our required core for students. So where can you participate in this program? Many of you will be here because of our flagship campus, which is our Boston campus. This is our campus that has been around for the longest, and it's right in the heart of Boston, very connected to the local biotech industries that we've kind of grown up around. But we also have some of our older global campus locations, our Portland, Maine campus, which is the Roux Institute at Northeastern. That's just an hour, 2 hours north of our Boston campus. We're very close kind of geographically to them. We also have our Toronto, Canada campus. So that one's been up for a few years now. That's in a beautiful high-rise facility right in the heart of Toronto, Canada. We also have our online program, as I mentioned, and we have students from all over the country that come and participate in our online degree. And this year, we've just launched a campus in Oakland, California, as well at Mills College. So that is, again, right in Oakland, which is really, really conveniently located in the Bay Area. So we hope that you'll consider it. Take a look at all these different campuses, see which one is, a correct fit for you, where you want to be geographically. But all of what we're talking about today applies to all of these different campuses. So for all of our programs, we have some sample core courses. This is our MS programs across our different global campus locations. We have, as I mentioned, some core lab courses that most of you will take. For example, our 5145, that's our first semester, 1 credit, our first or second semester, 1 credit lab skills class, hands-on lab. You're learning all sorts of foundational skills at the industry standard that you would need to do. You would need to do any sort of wet lab work. We also talk about some of our more professional classes, our biotech enterprise class, that's a business class. As I mentioned, it talks about some of those other areas that you wouldn't commonly think of when you think of science and bench work, but are areas that are pivotal to the biotech industry as a whole. We also have some of more kind of standard, if you would think about that, science foundational coursework. 5621, that's one of our core courses. It's called Protein Principles in Biotechnology. That's kind of a biochemistry flavor course where you're talking more about the practical elements of proteins in the context of analytical analysis. You're talking about how to structurally, what makes a protein, what are biotherapeutics actually, how are they interacting in our bodies, that kind of thing. But it is a science course. We have a few like this in the program, although they're hard science. They have an industry lens. So we do case studies that are in industry. We're looking at new patent applications and approvals. We're looking at these in the context of different therapeutics or different biotechnological products. So every course in our program does have that professional aspect, has that industry relevance. We have our cell culture coursework. This is going to be later in the program. You're going to learn about how the industry actually scales up and produces biologics. So we're looking at bioreactor operation, impeller flow, that kind of thing. And then again, we have our advanced lab course, 7245. This is where we're going to get all those different laboratory techniques. Kind of we run through them rapid fire. You're doing CRISPR, you're doing transformations, transfections, you're doing mammalian cell culture, you're doing E. coli cell culture, you're doing plasmid extractions. You're just everything. We try to cover as much as we can so that you all are exposed to that and you have a fluency with that, whether you're in the lab or you're just working with people that are in the lab. And then on each of our different campus locations, you'll be able to select a concentration if you choose. Many students choose the interdisciplinary option, which is no concentration, because they want to be able to take classes across all of our different concentrations and all of our different coursework that we offer. But if you want to decide to declare a concentration, you have the opportunity to declare our agricultural biotech concentration, biodefense, biopharm tech and analytics, and biotech operations. And all of these concentrations are available on each of our different campuses, but the coursework that we offer on those campuses may change. So if you are interested in a very specific course and you want to make sure that you select a program that offers that course, just reach out to our admissions team and you can ask some pointed questions and we can take a look at our catalog and see what's offered on our different campus locations. So a sample program plan for you, I've just pulled from the biotech operations concentration, and this is what you'll be seeing. This is what you'll be looking at, in this or another format. But basically what you can see here in first semester fall, you take 4 classes. We've just kind of shuffled this around. It might be a little different based on what campus you're on. The courses present here have not changed, just it depends the order that you might take them in. But you can see here that we have 4 different classes in your first semester, varying from 1 to 3 credits. 4 in your second semester. You've got 3 and 3 in your third and fourth semesters. And it's kind of how we structured them. And so you'll just get used to seeing, this is how we recommend and lay it out for you as far as what your courses will be. And if you're interested in specific coursework in a specific order, you'll just reach out to your advisor, your assigned academic advisor when you come to campus, and they will be able to work with you as far as getting you into the classes that you need. So that's the master's program. If you're interested in a graduate certificate, these are a little different. Whereas the master's is 34 credits, our certificates are either 12, 13, or 15 credits. So they're a lot smaller, about half the size or less. And they can typically be performed if you're a full-time student in 2 semesters. You would do a fall and spring or a spring and fall. In order to do a grad cert, you have to be eligible to study part-time. So if you're not sure whether or not you have that eligibility, you can reach out to our admissions team and start to ask them some questions and get the help you need. For our grad certs, similar to our master's program, we have our on-ground lecture courses offered in the evening. And again, most begin at 5:30 or 6 p.m. to accommodate our working students. So you can take these classes after that 5 p.m. work hour as well. And also many of these classes are offered online. All of these classes now, I think, are offered online. So you do have that online asynchronous option as well. And if you start, you can always also start in the certificate. And if you think that you want to then scale up into the master's degree, you can apply some of those courses to the master's degree. And so you can also use that kind of test the waters and see if you if this is a good fit for you at Northeastern. So the co-op work experience, we keep talking about this. So what is it? So for the co-op work experience, many students typically perform one co-op, and that co-op can be anywhere from, I think it's now 6 to 8 months in length, or if you're in Toronto, as I mentioned, up to 12 months. And, or I think they can be as little as 4 if you want to do them in one semester. But typically students either take a fall or they'll do like fall summer, or if you're in Toronto, do a whole year. So it's a really long, meaningful experience where you work in an biotech industry company, and they pay you to do that. So you're actually in the industry doing the real work. And again, if you're a working student, you You can either elect to not do a co-op, you can do a co-op in a different company, or you can do a special project at your place of employment, like we talked about earlier. When you do your co-op will be after you've completed 2 full semesters of coursework, and you have to be in good academic standing. So typically, co-ops are performed near the end of the program. Things are changing a little bit, so now you have to have around 3 semesters of coursework completed. You cannot save it for the very end of the program, but it can be near the end. So typically, typically students will start to apply near the middle of the program, and then they'll do their co-op usually after their 3rd semester. And we get a lot of questions. Will I have to go out and start emailing companies and finding my own co-ops? And the answer to that is no. You can if you have access to a company and you've already connected with them and you want to do a co-op, you have the opportunity to explore building a co-op with them. But for the majority of students, what they utilize is our co-op database. And this is a database called NU Works, where we have a team of co-op professionals, partnership professionals that have gone out into the industry and they've worked to I locate and secure many different co-op positions, hundreds of positions, thousands across the database. And what you'll do is you'll just log onto this database and you'll see them kind of listed out. And you'll look for ones that you're interested in, that apply to you, that you're qualified for. And with the support of your co-op coordinator, you'll just apply to those specific positions. So it's a lot easier than having to go out into the industry yourself and kind of build relationships. Although we hope through this program we'll be teeing you up to do that kind of thing after you graduate when you start to actually look for work. And many students say that this co-op experience is the most meaningful part of the degree. For a lot of students in classes, we'll be teaching professional skills and they're learning them. But when they get to co-op, they start to know why they learned them. Everything starts to click for them. They're going to be applying these skills that they learned in their classes. And so it's a really wonderful opportunity for students. It's something we're really proud of, and it is the cornerstone of our program. We're really proud of our partners, and we really encourage our students to go do these co-ops, and we provide ample support for them in that search process. So after all of this, if you think you are still interested in this program, you want to apply, if you're excited to pursue your biotech master's at Northeastern, here's what you'll need for your application. You'll need a personal statement. You'll need 2 letters of recommendation. You'll need your unofficial transcripts for your degrees and coursework. After you are accepted to the program, you'll have to provide your official transcripts. You need a CV or resume for us and a prerequisite form. We require advanced biology and advanced biology course of any advanced biology and a biochemistry course. So you'll just have to let us know that you've completed those or that you haven't. If you have not completed those courses, we do allow you to take them in parallel when you get here. From us or from another institution. So it's not going to deter you, and it will not necessarily factor into our review of your application. But you just got to let us know how, if you completed those courses or not. And you'll also have to provide a proof of English proficiency. So this is going to be you've either earned your degree at a U.S. institution, you've earned your degree at an institution where English is the medium of instruction, or you have official exam scores from these English language tests, the TOEFL, IELTS, PTE, or Duolingo. So you'll just have to provide us with one of those options as proof of English proficiency. And that is our program. I hope that we've answered all your questions. If you still have any questions about how the program works, any sort of logistics, different campus-specific questions, please email our admissions team and they will work to get you, we all will work to get you the answers that you need. But best of luck in your application, and we hope to see you at Northeastern sometime soon.